Tansi. Okay. My name is Kirby RedWood. I'm the lead Askiy-Pimatisiwin at Maskanawa. My Cree name is Askiy-Pimatisiwin, Old Man Rockboy, and my Blackfoot name is Askiy-Pimatisiwin, Brave Eagle. I want to talk a little bit about Askiy-Pimatisiwin. Land. Land gives life. Land is life. As Maskanawa continues to embrace our teachings of Wokotowin, how we lead with culture, we come to understand from our elders that while it's great to do traditional teachings, language classes within city on Zoom and on Teams, that when we're able to take those same teachings, those same opportunities, and invite our families to explore them out on the land, that it has a different impact. When we're able to acknowledge our natural laws within natural settings out on the land, the teachings become more than a teaching. It becomes a way of life, a way of connecting, a way for people to connect to their spirit, their own spirit, to the spirits of their grandfathers and grandmothers, to the spirit of Natawima, to the spirit of Creator. And so Askiy-Pimatisiwin has become a core strategy for Maskanawa in how we understand and embrace the teachings of Wokotowin and Simoksin, the Blackfoot parallel to Wokotowin, how we live in relationship, how we live in relationship with each other, with ourselves, with our spirits of our grandfathers and grandmothers, with the spirit of Mother Earth. And so while we can do some pretty amazing things within these concrete jungles, within these walls, within this city, within these rooms, yet we're able to create a different impact when we're out on the land with families. And so Askiy-Pimatisiwin has become another lens for Maskanawa to lead with culture, to explore how it influences us within our practice, within acknowledging natural laws, how we govern ourselves and hold ourselves accountable with our Indigenous strategy, with our Indigenous worldviews, and how they parallel and walk alongside the Western worldviews. That's where our traditional knowledge comes from. That's where our wisdoms passed down from our ancestors emerge from, and that are carried through various generations. The old camp values are about traditional teachings, cultural practices and ceremonies, ways of knowing and being that have sustained communities for millennia. And so when we define ourselves as an Indigenous organization, we use these concepts, these teachings, these cultural protocols to do that. We don't strive to have 100% Indigenous representation in all positions. What we strive to do is ensure that the people that are part of our team, are part of our circles, embrace Wokotowin, embrace Simoksin, embrace our traditional values, and not only honor, respect them, but live them in many regards. And that's how we choose to define ourselves as an Indigenous organization, an agency that embraces those teachings, utilizing a lens and a framework similar to old camp, current camp, future camp. And so we talk about the old camp being our place of traditional knowledge. The current camp is about the present moment, how we live today, how the challenges that we face and the ways that we navigate life while still holding on to the cultural values and the traditional ways of knowing and being. So it's how do we take those teachings of the old camp and how they manifest themselves within our current realities of today is a constant challenge. But when you use the frameworks, you're able to ground yourselves in those teachings and allow them to guide and influence our offerings to each other, our offerings to the children and families we serve, recognizing that the relational piece to all of that. And when we talk about living in relationships, when in Wokotowin, living in relationships, kinship, it's relationships with each other, with Creator, with ourselves, with our spirit, with Mother Earth, Askiy-Pimatisiwin. And so we utilize the old camp, current camp, future camp to do just that. So the current camp, it values the teachings of the old camp and how they're applied. And then we move forward to the future camp. And we always recognize and acknowledge that it's about the generations yet to come, the legacy that we leave behind for them. Indigenous teachings often emphasize, the thinking of 7 generations. This is about how we're leading today and how the values of vision and responsibility and care for future generations are driving some of that practice, are driving our understandings of Wokotowin and Simoksin and how directly connected they are to Askiy-Pimatisiwin living on the land. So we're excited about this journey, and we invite all of our relatives to come and join us out on Askiy-Pimatisiwin to Muskamaso, discover for themselves what that journey might look like for them. Hi, Ganaskamatin.